prior to your licensing, you were in you've been in sales. You were also in the banking industry.
Banking industry, yeah.
Well,
So,
okay.
Yeah,
So,
the banking industry was a little bit different than insurance. Different, yeah. But yeah, I spent quite some. I didn't spend about couple years in the banking.
okay.
Selling. I just love helping people, man. I love helping people, man. And the insurance is just fell into my lap, and I just run with it, man.
So nice. So you found the initially when you started, you were in the voluntary benefit space, which is cool. I mean, I started in the voluntary benefit space as well. Mm-hmm. How'd you get introduced to that? So going from the banking industry, what did you see an interview? Did someone tell you about it? Like, how'd you get introduced to the voluntary space?
Actually, it was actually a good friend of mine who was on that space already, and he introduced me to that. And I learned most of the skill I learned from that good friend.
Yes.
And he introduced me, and I fall in love with just helping small business owner, helping employees. I fall in love with that, man. It's like it become a part of me. So that's how I got introduced to that from a good friend of mine. Nice.
I ask because oftentimes when people are introduced into the insurance industry, and I feel like when you're introduced from a worksite standpoint, you're kind of lucky, right? Like I felt lucky to be introduced on a worksite standpoint, because many times when people are introduced, they're introduced in more of an individual marketplace, which is still great, still a strong place to work in. But in the work side, it's a different kind of feel. It's a different kind of touch when you're going in and you're talking to those employees. Is that something that you felt came natural to you based on your previous experiences, or was it something that you had to kind of get comfortable with over time?
I had to get comfortable with it, man. Just doing over and over again. I remember like I came back to my mentor. I was like, look, I don't know what I'm doing what I'm doing wrong. Like I go back, it's like, hey, this is what I did, and this is the result I'm getting. Yes. So I had to feel comfortable doing group presentation in front of employees, and I just kept doing it, getting better each time, and start talking to decision maker. So it was a skill. It was a skill I had to learn from my mentor, man. And now over the years, yes, I mastered that skill.
Yes,
it's still a work in progress. But from when I started till now, yeah, there's a big there's a big adjustment.
Yeah, and definitely saying, hey, look, I'm going to go from the voluntary space into property and casualty. Like that's an even bigger adjustment, right?
Yes.
So in seeing that, how long were you working in the voluntary space before you decided to go and get that PNC license?
4 years.
Okay.
4 years, yeah, 4 years.
Okay.
4 years in the 4 years. And then I got introduced, like when I was talking to those brokers and those agents, they told me the step and how to get my license. Then what I did, I went and put an application with Allstate because I need some experience.
Yes.
I need some experience because getting into this industry, man, you need experience. So I went to get the experience with Allstate, and my wife actually, she's been in the independent side, so she's been doing insurance over going 13 years now.
Gotcha.
So she told me about going to the independent side, which I did. I left Allstate, I went into the independent side, and I fell in love with it, man. It was a game changer when I went to the independent side.
I was gonna ask you, who was licensed longer? Who was licensed first? Okay.
She's been in the game longer. Now a lot of people think that I've been in the game longer because they always see my face. They like she's like doing the back hand scene. But I was like, she's been in the game longer than I. So
was she one of those people like, hey, you should go ahead and get your insurance license, or was she like, hey, you're doing fine, doing what you're doing? Where was she at on it?
She said, go for it.
Nice. Yeah, man.
And she invests like every time I didn't pass it, man, it was like she told me keep going, and just to let people know too, like every time you don't pass it, as you know, there's an investment that you have to put out.
That's right.
There's an investment.
That's right.
It hurt the pocket, but in the long run, it helped the pocket.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, look, you made that back, maybe over at this point. Yeah. No, absolutely. So, going from the voluntary, going into the PNC, tell me, what was it? So you started with Allstate just to get some experience. Was that your idea? Say, hey, I'm going to start with this agency first, because you could have just gone straight independent initially.
True. They were the first one that give me the opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah, they were the first one. Yeah. So I took it. I took the opportunity and learn some stuff. Learn a lot of stuff from that as being a captive agent.
Yeah.
But the independent side, it was actually my wife's idea, just to go on the independent side.
So in the licensing, right? And then I want to go back to kind of your first year, as running an agency. In the licensing, do you feel like the life and health side was harder, or do you feel like the property casualty side was harder?
That, to me, it's the same.
Okay.
It's the same, because I don't want to scare people away. Because funny thing, we had that conversation during lunch. It's the same. It's the same. When you look at the book, some people are scared of PNC. To me, it's the same. Even though it took me 11 times to pass the PNC, but it's the same.
Yeah. I mean, I think that for me, I felt like the PNC. I actually felt like the PNC was a little bit harder than the life and health, because the life and health was more like law-based, and some of the things seem like, okay, if I can use some type of deductive reasoning, it'll make sense just from a pure, like an ethical standpoint, right? Mm-hmm. But the PNC actually started to break down all of the different policy types. And when I was taking that test, I was like, hold on, is it HO7, HO5, what? So that's just me, man. But so I get it on the 11 times on the property casualty, because I thought that test was way harder than my life and health test. But going back to starting the agency, saying, hey, look, I'm gonna go ahead and launch that agency. What did you find was the biggest difference between being captive, on your Allstate experiences versus making that decision to go into the independent side?
Independent side, that one, man. Starting the agency, it's not an easy process, but what I found out is that, man, a lot of people that I asked, they don't want to share the knowledge. A lot of people was hiding the knowledge, because I was asking questions. How do you get a broker license? How do you do this? A lot of people just hid that knowledge, man. And I had to look some other way around to get that knowledge, how to start the agency. Yeah. So from the beginning, man, it's like it was kind of hard, like just to get the information to start the agency.
Yeah.
So even where I used to work at now, where the independent broker I used to work with, it was kind of hard, like to even ask questions. Like people was hiding those information, and they didn't want to share those information, because I don't know if they see something. They see something that in me that I didn't see, but it was like, if I give this guy that information, they're gonna go surprise me. No, right. That's what a lot of people is afraid of. Like they're holding on the information, and as an agency owner now, man, we want to give that back. We want to give those information back. Like that's what we inspire others to go after their dreams. Like if you want to start an agency, my best advice is that to you, that go get experience. Go get the experience first. Yes, you can start an agency just like that. But I believe if you want to get the experience, you understand the industry a little bit better.
Yeah.
You be good. You be good because you understand it.
You put yourself in a better position.
Yep.
You start. You once again, it's about minimizing the risk.
Yep.
Right? Minimize the risk. So this is number one source of education, information, inspiration. On the most underrated career opportunity in the country today. So some of that knowledge, man. What are some of the resources that you utilize? Maybe a book that you found that helped you, to get some insight on how to start launching that agency and taking that journey.
Man, the book that I read, man, and it's still one of the book that I still read to this day. It's by Damon John, The Power of Broke.
The Power of Broke, yeah.
Broke, man, like this book, like when you don't have when you start in a business, when you don't have a lot of resources and people don't want to share information, you got to find out another way around.
Yeah.
How to go into the community, be a helper to the community. So that book is one of the book that actually helped me out, man. Like, because he started Fubu and he was telling you how he started Fubu.
Yes.
And how he started. Like these things, I just learned them and I just put them to work.
Yeah. Like he got his then I think he get his mom to take a mortgage out on the house.
Yes.
Yeah. So he can start his company and got everybody working in their house and doing his and trying to get deals. Yeah. And next thing you know, boom.
Yep.
LL Cool J, on the commercial.
Yep. You are one yes away. You are one yes away, one person away to blow your business. Now,
yeah,
one person away. Now, one.
Absolutely. Do you feel like as an independent agent, like deciding to one, I think it's a great nugget. Hey, get some experience, with another agency, kind of, build up, your own kind of product knowledge and process, and then take that process and then launch it to your own. Do you feel like memberships in trade organizations like the Independent Agents and Brokers of America, you feel like organizations like that were helpful for you in starting to build the independent side?
They could be, I guess it depends on the person. They could be helpful, but it really depend on the person.
Yeah.
It really depend on that, because you could put the investment out, but you're not taking advantage of that investment that you put with that organization.
Right.
Participating on everything that they do, being a helper to that organization, not just but being involved.
Yeah.
In that organization, man. So it really depends on the person.
Absolutely. It's about what you're contributing, right? Because you're going to get back what you're putting into it.
Yep.
No, absolutely, man. Makes perfect sense. So let's talk about, some of what's driving you now, man. Some of the motivations that you have. I want to transition into the dream chasers, because you said, hey, it depends on the person, how you take advantage of an organization, of what it has to offer. Now, when we met, you had driven from your office in Delaware down to Richmond, Virginia, to an agents conference. Tell me about what was it that motivated you, to make that trip? I mean, people make business trips, but you were like, you told me a story about it when we were there. You said, hey, I said, I wanted to get I'm gonna let you tell it. You go ahead. All right.
Well, first, I mean, with COVID, man, everything, like with COVID-19, everything shut down. Like people is at home, people are not in the office, man. And I was looking around my area to see what conference where I could go, get some new information, meet some new people. And Virginia, man, was the one. And I saw two speakers on there. Those two speakers, both of them, they were on my goal list to go see. So when I see both of them in there, I was like, yo, I'm gonna drive. It's only to me, because I've been doing this a lot longer, going to conferences. So taking that drive, it didn't hurt me. It didn't really hurt me, because I was thinking about like what information I could go and put that information to work, implement that information to take my business, my personal life, my community to a whole nother level. That's how I saw it, man. And I just took the drive. And when I got there, man, I met you, met a few people that I connected with, man. That was one of the best decisions, man. That opened a whole new door for me.
Yeah.
Just with other people, man.
it's one of those things where, like you said, you decided to step out. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, hey, I'm gonna step out on faith. I know it's a couple speakers I want to meet. I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna build bridges. I make whole new relationships, other opportunities start branching off. I think there's a big lesson there for people who are taking steps but might be scared of what the next step is. I heard this story recently about it was somebody's video, and they were talking about a story about the horse and the boy. Have you heard the story, the horse and the boy?
I think I did.
Where the horse and the boy is riding the horse through the forest, and the boy's like, the trees are too thick. I can't see through the forest. And the horse is like, well, can you see your next step?
Yep.
And it's like, just take that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's like, just take that, because you didn't know what relationships or what was going to really come out of that.